Yo. What's up, everybody? Okay.
Can I try the yell?
Yeah, try to yell.
Welcome to the show.
Ooh. Yeah, why don't you just do that whole thing?
I can't do the sound off.
I can. You know. Hi, everybody. Oh, yeah, I feel like crap. So we're gonna try to push through. We're gonna see what we can do. Welcome in, everybody. My name is UltimatDJz. Welcome into Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. I'd like to welcome you into a Talking Trek server sound off. I am not inebriated, Wildstar. I am ill from the exhaust fumes of whoever I rode on an airplane with. I told you guys there's something nasty about breathing other people's exhaust. All right, it's gross. Waffly, what's up? 142. Officer Soto on 167. Scaly back from the Outback on 193. Fred Flintstone on 21. Oh. Yeah, Forgotten Shields on server 80. What's up? See, nobody's actually typing them now. They don't want me to read them. That's good.
Did
Thank
you realize
Saving
that
my
the air
voice.
on the airplane is probably better than the air you breathe?
I know, but I mean, I was still around a bunch of gross people. Yo, hey, what's up, Puddin'? How you doing, Gherkin? Hey, Puddin'.
Hey, Puddin'.
Hey, Puddin'.
Hey, Puddin'.
I love it. What's going on? Spectre on 11, Iron Chef on 14, King Kirky on 181, Captain Q on 57, Chaos on 26, Noon Whistle on 29, Sandra on 142, Daverick on 21, Jace on 44, Hunter on 28, and the list goes on. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the show. My name is UltimatDJz, and what's up? I feel like poopy today, Trader. I feel it started happening last night on the Twitch, actually. I noticed it starting to go last night, and not exactly sure where it came from. I've been home now. What is today, Wednesday? I've been home now for 3 days, so it's about that time, right? It's about time for me to be sick from going to Los Angeles.
It is.
Yeah.
This is the fourth
Unfortunately,
day.
it is.
Today's day 4. So this is what I've got to deal with. It started going out on me last night. Forgotten Sex. So is that part of why we had Grumpy Cat? No, I wasn't grumpy. I was fine. I maintained my position. As a matter of fact, I have no news prepared today. I have no commercials prepared today because Bubba Joe, I slept. I just slept. Crap. I forgot to turn off the overlays and stuff. I'll fix that. I just slept. I couldn't deal with it. So I slept, and then Bubba Joe messaged me about doing a show, and obviously I wanted to do a show. I did want to do a show, but I didn't have. I just had no time or energy to come out here and prep anything. So this is what you get. Sorry. And I'm feeling super cute today. I haven't shaved. I'm wearing a hat because my hair is crazy.
I haven't shaved.
I feel like terrible, awful. But Lieutenant Bennett says that's okay. Seemingly all the news today seems to be stupid. What news? What news was stupid today? I'm just curious.
People are being grumpy is what it is.
Yeah, I wasn't being grumpy. I'm not being grumpy.
No.
Oh, no.
People
Big
that
Guns,
are saying that the news is stupid are being grumpy.
Big Gun says he was sick yesterday, too. Great. Yeah, see, it was absolutely L.A. It was absolutely L.A. Big cesspool. Every time I go out there, Trader, I have a good time, and then I'm glad to be back home, and I remember why I don't want to live out there. I'm being reminded again. It's gross. Anyway, no, listen. Despite everything, Bubba, you heard the conversation last night. Trader, you heard the conversation. Everybody's giving me grief. Everybody's giving me grief over this material solo milestone thing.
They are. They really are.
And here's the deal. I have not changed my position. I'm still exactly where I was last night. And crazy enough, the analytical, mathematically objective folks who have looked at this agree. Ripper has agreed. Bubba has agreed that it's not a problem about the point scaling, although it is. But it's not for the same reason, all right? And we've spent a lot of time talking about this. We can come back and circle around on it if you guys want. But the long story short is, despite whatever my personal belief is, I still advocate for the community. And you guys can be hateful and be angry and say all that mean stuff like you guys were saying to me yesterday. But the bottom line is, I still do my job. And yesterday, Bubba, and even today, I'm having meetings with more than just the Arc Runner about what's going on with these points. And I have comment for you guys. I don't think you're going to like it very much, but it's very much aligned with what we have been talking about, which I didn't make up, by the way. I mean, I told you guys what the insight into the development of this event was. What they have acknowledged is that there is what I'm going to call a maturity problem within the generations. Okay. Bubba Joe, we've talked about this. We've identified this for years. What an Ops 40 can spend is not what an Ops 42 can spend, is not what an Ops 46 can spend, which is not what an Ops 49 can spend with regards to rarity. That's why the old model worked okay, because uncommon was 100, rare was 150, but a lot of people did the majority of that event. A lot of people did the majority of that event with uncommon. All right. I think we can all agree to that. Especially younger ops level players. As a matter of fact, I say younger ops level within your generation. All right. 32, 33, 34 are going to have to do it with uncommons as compared to 38 and 39 who can do some of it with rare. All right. And the reason for that is because of the availability of the potential spend of those items. And we actually had a conversation today about other point mechanics in that same event. For example, Bubba Joe, you're not the right person to ask, but I do want to ask anybody Ops 50 and down. Ops 50 and down, how many epic materials have you ever spent in the game outside of a prime?
I haven't except on my Meridian. That's the only time I've ever spent.
The Meridian takes epic? Does it really?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
the Meridian
certain.
does.
At the high
Franklin,
end.
the Franklin A
Yeah, the
does.
Franklin does.
Okay.
Yeah,
So there's
I've
so
spent
there's a
little bit on
couple
there, but not much.
As a matter of fact, I
But
know
literally
that I've
very
spent
small scoring.
You got it. I've spent a couple myself. As a matter of fact, this was in my screenshots because I was talking to them about it today, Bubba Joe. I was talking to them about this today and said, hey, listen, this is for a tier 12 component of my Voyager. It's asking for 29. I only have 14. It's asking for 29, and I only have 14, and this is a tier 12 component of my Voyager. Okay? So the ability of spending epic in this game is extremely, extremely, extremely low, extremely rare.
Yeah.
All right.
And the base amount of epic that you need is already low. And with our ship efficiencies, it's a very small number of what, as you say, you've only got 14 and you only need 29.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a very small number. It's not going to be a very high scoring material.
Now, Captain Taylor said it's the same way for rares in G3. I would probably disagree unless you've got a pretty healthy level of these new multi-tiered primes, because rares used to be the issue, Bubba Joe. Rares were definitely a massive bottleneck back in the day. Now, a lot of research efficiencies and things like that, but especially these new multi-tier primes, again, just like Tal, just like Chen, the gift that keeps on giving. All right. The problem that we identified yesterday, that I tried to present to the community yesterday, is not about the point values. It's about the availability to spend what they're basing the math on. All right. And when I say that, I mean, it's no secret, Bubba. We've talked about how these milestones are established. Okay. We've talked about how the milestones are established. It is literally the total point capacity of a pack. That equals $100. So if they want to set a value on something of $200, then they're going to take the point capacity based on the metrics that they've chosen. They're going to take the point capacity and multiply that out by however many number of packs they're trying to recover. What they did here, excuse me, what they did on this one is they widened the gap. All right, the gap between uncommon scoring and rare scoring is now too high. All right, or too wide, rather. It's too large. All right, coming back here, what we used to have is 100 points, 150 points for a rare, and that was about a 50% increase, Bubba Joe. But it was not beyond the scope of reason, I guess, because you could get some points off rares, but most people were doing it, as we talked about, predominantly with uncommons, which is what the game calls for. All right. We also did a little bit of this. Bubba, we were actually very, very close. The game, we estimated, calls for approximately 80 to 85% uncommon to rare ratio, right? We claimed that yesterday.
That was our guess, yes.
That was our guess. It was pretty daggone close. Mathematically, based on building And ship progression, I haven't finished research yet, but it's actually exactly an 80-20 split, Bubba. I mean,
Look
we
at
were
that.
right on the money. An 80-20 split, all right? Meaning that what Ripper stated yesterday is actually correct. And this is why we come back in here and say that this math is justifiable. What they did is shift your focus of spend. And that is what people are very, very fussy about, Bubba Joe. They're fussy about two things. One, the availability to spend their current generational stuff. And two, they're perceiving it as a punishment to go back and catch up instead of working on current progressional stuff, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So when I had a chance to talk with Scopley about that today, and that is a true and fair intent. That they actually, and I talked about this last night, Bubba, that they were interested in disincentivizing or de-incentivizing older, less valuable stuff that doesn't matter as much and putting material investment into progression, your current generation. Okay? Now, that as it may. Okay? That was the intent. I feel like they certainly did that. All right? They did that intent. The problem is the collateral damage. The collateral damage being anybody in the lower half of their generation. Okay? Lower half of their generation. Being the 40 or the 42 who can't possibly spend that much uncommon. All right? Or can't actually spend any rares whatsoever. Or to anybody in the game that can't spend epic. That was one of my biggest complaints today. If we're going to rescale these points balancing, okay, I get why you want to do it. And by the way, I don't get to decide this. Okay, I can consult, I can offer feedback, right, Baba? If they're going to stick with this, because by the way, I have I have a very direct quote. All right, and I'm going to give it to you right now. This is we're being very candid, we're being very honest. I'm giving you straight up feedback, and I've been fighting for you. Okay? Reverting the scoring table at this point is not an option. Okay, Bubba? So that's it. Reverting the scoring table to what it was is not an option. So what we have to do here is figure out a way to help balance this. This now has to be balanced, okay? And I think that there's a couple of ways to do that. Bubba, you and I were talking last night that you also saw the objective logic in this, but you yourself was also a victim of this disparity within the generation kind of mindset, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As a 61, you can't spend a tremendous amount of uncommon, nor can you spend any rare whatsoever. True?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Same thing for, excuse me, guys. This is going to be very painful today. Same reason why I did not have as hard a time as an Ops 56 pushing my progression forward. I've got a lot of places that I can spend rare material. Why do I have the rare material that I can spend? Is the next question. Why do I have it? Ooh, Pax says shorts. Okay, fair. That's absolutely true. But why do I have enough of it that I don't have to spend? You got it, Hunter. It's because of my ops. Because all the packs that I bought, that's right, Purge, I couldn't spend it for the entire first half of my generation. From 50 to 55, I couldn't spend the rare. So anything that I earned, anything that I bought, anything that I got in events, it just kept building. It kept banking up. No, I'll take 100. It's not going to help today, guys. I'm telling you. All right. It's going to continue banking up.
I've got like 90,000 rare G4 crystal because I don't have anywhere to spend it. Or I haven't had anything to spend it on yet.
And what's your ops? What's your ops level?
I've only just gone ops 49.
49. You're 49 and you don't have anywhere to spend rare?
I've got rare, but I haven't built my pylon yet. So once I build my pylon, then I'll have a bucket load. But
Oh, okay.
at the moment,
Well, yeah.
I haven't got
Yeah,
anywhere to spend that rare yet.
Yeah, as an Ops 49, now as an Ops 49, it probably stands to reason that you maybe would.
I've only just gone 49 on the last weekend, so
Okay.
in reality, I'm basically a new an old 48.
Yeah, so you're new to this later portion of the generation. The bottom line is it comes down to the availability of spend. All right. And in the conversations that we have had here today, all right, and yesterday and the day before, there was a lot of conversation points back and forth, including the one that Bubba does bite us in the butt once in a while, but it is heroic. It's meant to incite spend, and I get that. And what I even said is I don't disagree with the intent. I don't disagree with the valuation. The problem is the point values. I'm going to read exactly what I wrote. The point values and ops segmentation are requiring significantly more spend than traditional because of their placement within their generation. Ops 40, for example, can't spend uncommon. Ops 42 can't spend rare, as compared to an Ops 49 who likely enjoyed the event. Bubba, do you think that that is a decent summation? Ish.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. So we're talking about this, and they have now conceded that these point values probably have a little too much disparity. Okay? Probably have a little bit too much disparity. For example, G3 uncommon being 20 and G4 uncommon being 30 as compared to Hunt 50, 75. Okay? That's exactly right, Tiberius. They hurt some of the segments by making the point change universal. Unfortunately, though, and here is a true fact, they can't do otherwise, right, Bubba? Like, they can't give different things, different points to different ops unless they create a totally separate event, which these are traditionally not. Okay? These are one event with multiple brackets. From layman's terms, the way that you can usually tell is when you go to Ripper's website or you go to stfc.space.
So
if you see two buckets,
the rewards. They do change the rewards based on ops.
Rewards, not metrics, point values. Okay?
Oh, okay.
The scoring.
Scoring cannot be changed unless it's a completely different event. And the way that you would know that from layman's terms is, does it have a second button? Does it have a second graphic on Ripper's site? Okay.
Oh, my site doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, okay. So on the Fubard STFC.space, if there's two cards, then it's probably two different events. If there are no cards, then it's a normal day because the website never works. Now, oh, God, Bubba, this is painful and sucks. Now, I said last night, and Bubba, I don't know if you were still here to hear this part. I said last night a lot of things that were very unpopular. I said that
you were doing your best Bubba Joe impression. That's for sure.
I was. Listen, I've always said the show's about logic. The show's about math, objectivity. It may not feel good, and someone even told me that. They sent me a message and said, "Hey, man, listen, you are always talking about how stuff doesn't feel good. You're right. You're right. I get that it doesn't feel good, but now we got to figure out why." Right? We got to figure out why so that we can fix it. Because we've already been told a rollback is not going to happen. Okay? Now, retrieving, you say G4 players are punished for spending G4. That is not correct. Okay? It's not correct. Because your milestone was also reduced to compensate for the point change. However, what they are expecting you to do is to spend more rare than you ordinarily would. Okay? That is the breakdown in their expectation versus what you're delivering. Retrieving, no milestones went up 75%, except for Ops 33 and 34, which I have very terrible news on that one as well. Nobody's milestone went up. Okay? 0, except for Ops 33 and 34. But what did change, retrieving, is that they expected your ratio of 33 to 34. I'm sorry, they expected your ratio of uncommon to rare to be lower versus higher. They expected you to spend more rare than uncommon, which is what you're used to doing. Okay? Now, Gradumacated says kind of the same thing. They kind of have, since we used to use uncommon for scoring. And that's where you're going to get into semantics, right? You're going to get into splitting hairs because they can set whatever expectation they want. We've actually talked about this, Bubba. If you like something, pursue it. If you don't, skip it, right? We've talked about how some events are easy to skip. All right. This may be a very easy event for you guys to skip. All right. On the other hand, some people probably didn't have a great deal of challenge with this. I did not. It was cheaper for me. Why is that? I'm 56. I'm working on ships. I also have rares to spend on buildings. Now, granted, I'm not saying you guys are not listening. Here we go already with the hateful chat. You're not listening if you're going to come at for me right now because I said mine was easy. Why was mine easy? Because I'm in the later stage of maturity within my generational gap. Within my generation, within G5, I'm later. Okay? It's easier for me to spend the rares. I've got the capacity to spend the rares. That's why. Okay? And shorts, by the same token, they don't source rares a whole lot at 53, 54, and there's not a great opportunity to spend them at 53. You're exactly right. Where do you fall in the maturity of that generational gap at 53, 54 as compared to me at 56, 57? More mature or less? And mature is maybe not the right word, but more advanced, more tenured, whatever you want to say. Are you deeper into that generation or are you less? Okay? So that's the comparison that we're drawing. That is why. Now, if we are going to look at this event and figure out a way to try to make this better, my suggestion was very simple, Bubba Joe. We got to close the gap between uncommon and rare scoring. It can't be 4x, which is about what they did, 5x. Look at G4, 500%, which, by the way, is exactly the formula for the game on a spreadsheet, 20/80 or 80/20. Okay? And that's why I say, mathematically, they didn't do anything wrong. This comes back to, Bubba Joe, experience, knowledge, their capacity for understanding the game at various ops levels and experiencing the progression through the game as to what requirements exist where, right? Mathematically, this event holds up. But it sucks for early generational players, and it's probably decent for late generational players. Bubba Joe, give us a little commentary on that while I try to preserve whatever I got left.
So, so I think that you're pretty spot on there, DJ. I think that it's not. I don't think it's unfair to suggest that that the event felt bad to the players, right?
Sure.
Let's say you're early on in your ops, you just got to 42 or something, and you're like, "Well, I've been saving up this G3 stuff because that's what I have to go spend on," right? I get it, right? This event feels really bad. Feels like it's punishing you. And that's a fair feeling to have. But it's also trying to accomplish a very specific goal of driving you to spending your current generation of materials. And when you think about it in that regard, and you understand that that's what the objective of this was, and to reward players that are spending their current generation of materials, it involves us thinking about our strategy differently in how we are going to engage in these types of events. And I think that that's and I also there were a number of brackets. Like, we're always talking about how they don't understand the transitions. 39 to 40, 50 to 51, 60 to 61. They've never gotten those right. And I wish to goodness that they would, but they just never seem to either have the ability to put attention to that or whatever. But And then, as DJ pointed out, there was a bracket. There was a bracket that they foobarred because the milestones went up. Totally get it. That was bad.
Well, I haven't even given the delivery of that news, which is going to further not be good. And by the way, I didn't believe them either, so I did the math on it. The Ops 33 to 34 bracket looks wrong, Bubba Joe, because it was actually mathematically inaccurate in September and October. And I know. Trust me, I had the same reaction, and I'm like, no, wait a minute, guys. And so I went in. Yeah, I know, Smiley. Oof, not the news you want to hear. But I went in and I checked. All right, $250 worth of build packs for an Ops 33-34 does equal the new milestone. Here's some of the stuff that they used actually on our own chart to point out this disparity. Okay, for example, because of the way that the point values were separated, it was actually a lot harder to see in previous months. It actually looks like it could have fit in the model. All right, because for example, before you needed 4,000 at Ops 28, but only 5,000 at Ops 33. Then 18,000 at Ops 39. Now, that's a big exponential curve, but it does still scale, right? One is cheaper than the other, right? So it does still scale upwards. But if you look at it this month, they've got the Ops 33 much closer to the Ops 39. Why would that be? Because the Ops 33 pack that you can buy, there's only one generational or inflation gap between Ops 33 and 39, meaning that your packs only change one more time between 33 and 39. So you got one at 33, you got one change, and then you got the Ops 39 change. So I guess technically two, but there's one in between. All right. So what they told me, and I didn't really believe the math either. So I went back and checked. I pulled an Ops 33 pack, and I did the point valuation and calculated out my estimate to be $250. And it was on the money. So then I go back and I'm like, well, hey, this, is the only milestone that went up. So then they went back and started looking. Now, Medic will remember this because somebody tell me, what was the officer that sourced in August? I'm going to be willing to bet that it was the last one that Medic had a huge problem with. Was that 7 of 9's month?
August?
What? August? Because I remember him saying something about that. It's been a couple of months. He said the same thing. It might have been Chakotay. It might have been Chakotay. He said, man, the cost per shard is crazy this month. Because August, they used the right math. Then in September and October, they foobarred that bracket. So this is a compounding issue. And one that August was 7 of 9, says Cottontail. Well, that makes sense. Makes sense, doesn't it, Medic? It sucks. All right. Now, if you wanted to look at the glass half full, then for September and October, you got your officers way cheaper than you should have. All right. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't feel good. I get it. All right. But this math is correct. And they've corrected an imbalance from before. So I'm sorry to inform you, 33 and 34. And by the way, 35 and 36, your new balance is accurate. And you've gotten used to an older balance. So the good news continueth to cometh today, Baba Joe. All right. Yeah, I know, chocolate. SMH, right? SMH. So now there's another problem. There is one other problem. And I have continued to try to push this. Nebs writes in the chat, I'm not sure what packs you're looking at Ops 33, 34 in my case, but $250 of station packs do not come close to the values. You know what else we have a problem here with, Bubba Joe?
Oh, I bet this is the generation of server packs.
Because only legacy servers get to spend $250 worth. If you're on a new server, say the new 700 series, well, you have less in your pack. So the mathematical equivalent is higher.
I mean, they stopped doing that after a certain ops level.
Yeah, it's 50.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, it's 50. All right. Hey, listen. Hey, Nebs, don't worry about it.
Just go to 50.
Just go to
you'll be
Ops
fine.
50. Everything will be fine. Don't worry about it. All right. Yeah. You're on European 106, which launched in April. European 106 launched in April? Is that right? Yeah, I guess it is.
It could be.
Yeah, I guess that is. So you're clearly on an older generation, which means your packs have less than somebody who's been in the game 5 years, like me. The Scopley logic continues to confound me. All right. Like, for example, Bubba, I totally get creating an event based on valuation of a pack. You know what you can't do? Is if the packs have a different valuation based on the age of the server, then you can't, like a minute ago, somebody said, well, why don't they just create events, different events with different point metrics? And I said, well, that would be multiple events, right? They'd have to create different events so that if you look on the website, they have different cards, right? Different event IDs, right? Yep. Scopley, here's another example. If you're going to source officers in this way, if you are truly trying to create a universal value or a universal currency, if you're going to say $250 buys this officer, then you need to make sure that $250 buys the officer. Because on Neb's server, it's probably $400 or $500. Is that appropriate? Now, that opens a totally different question, one that content creators in the community have been fighting for 5 years unsuccessfully. Okay.
Can I have an opinion that might not be well received by a lot of people?
I'm sure that, yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure that there's going to be logic behind what you're saying. We've seen it before. Older content. Bubba, you saw it here as recently with the Mega Cube event. Older content is still new for players like Nebs, right? Mega Cube is still new for Nebs. Nebs has never played in the Mega Cube. If they join the event, they joined the game in April of 23, Nebs has never played the Mega Cube event. That's new content for him, for them. So we look at the cost of progression when we came through. It's not going to be wildly different as they come through. It just inflates faster. Go ahead, Ripper.
I think this is totally appropriate if they have different costs for the same content on different servers. I'm sorry, just deal with it.
Why? I mean, okay, your opinion is valid. Scopley agrees with you.
Scopely made the decision of new server, the packs have less, so things are more expensive for you.
Because they're trying to preserve that timeline, right? They want the same experience for a new server as what you and I had, Rib, right? I mean, that's their justification anyway. Which is fine. By the way, I am less offended by that than I am this event. If that's how you're going to do it, then you've got to create a second event. You've got to create another point scoring metric with a new set of milestones for the newer servers as compared to Legacy. You have to. Now, Ripper, I'm fine with them having different values in their packs. But if an event is going to be written off of the actual value of point potential in a pack, or in this case, $250 worth of packs, should it not be equal?
I had an opinion on this in the past as well, which is, I said, well, as long as they keep these differences in a bubble.
Which you're referring to incursions.
Yes.
But we also know that doesn't happen either.
But
right?
Yeah, but that's an incursion problem and not a fundamental issue with them selling the same thing for different prices depending on how old the server is, which that is a decision they made. You might not like it, but it is what it is. So you have to decide what value you have in whatever you want to buy for you in your situation, because you are generally outside of incursions and the cross-server leaderboards, not
playing the same game.
Referenced with people paying a different price. So it's you are your own world, your own bubble. So it doesn't really make a difference.
And that is true. Scopley has said those exact same words. All right. From a game design perspective, they agree. All right. But regardless, now the gameplay is still faster, Chocolate. It is still much faster. Like the scheduled inflation for them is actually twice the pace of what we've got it. So like it's literally double. All right. And that's why we talked today, Bubba Joe, about how long it would take somebody to go from, say, a brand new player to Ops 20. You could probably do that within 4 to 5 weeks now. But that was a year for us way back in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a whole year, you know? So it has changed. It has gotten faster. All right. But they still have and do reserve the right to treat that content as new content for that new server. I use the Mega Cube as an example again. Now, that being said, that brings us full circle back to this event because we got a lot more to talk about, Bubba Joe. And I'm trying to be objective. Do I think this event was good? Holistically? No. Okay? Not holistically. I don't. Did it happen to benefit me more than other players? It did, because of where I happened to fall on the timeline. I acknowledge that. I understand it. I'm telling you guys, I'm admitting it and being honest with you guys and transparent. I have also identified what I believe to be the pain points with this event and have relayed them back to Scopley. All right? And what I'm here to tell you is the same thing, Trader, that I feared last night. I said this is such a massive mathematical calculation that I do not expect there to be enough time to actually resolve it this month, and that is the case. The milestones that you saw this past weekend will persist throughout the month. Sorry, is what it is. Okay? It's what it is. What's up, bud? Oh, you're trying to spend Robux? Here, he's trying to buy Robux. I don't know what your password is.
Tell him to use his own credit card.
Use your own credit card. Look, I just did it for you. You're welcome. No, look at the smile now. He's fine now. Now that now that he can spend his Robux. You know, in fairness, you know why he gets the Robux, Bubba Joe? Today was report card day.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Today was report card day, and he brings home straight A's. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
I was going to say, does he know his U.S. geography better than his dad does?
Yes, he actually does. There's no doubt about that, okay? Yeah, straight A's for my little OG. Thank you, buddy. All right, go on. I know. Do you want a cookie? No? Okay. I did. Get out of here. You got Robux, I'm sure. All right, anyway. I didn't get anything 2 years ago. Man, he is a Scopley player in the making, isn't he, Bubba Joe? Hey, what about that comp I was supposed to get 3 years ago? Mantis comp. What about my Mantis comp, Dad? Can I get some of that Mantis comp, Dad? All right. Oh. Anywho, Bubba Joe is what it is, okay? I will answer questions for a few moments. Does anybody have a question regarding the math on this thing? And by the way, I've checked it every which way from Sunday. I know that you guys are not going to be feeling it, okay? And it's not holistically a perfect event. They're on to something, okay? But it certainly doesn't feel good right now. And I think it's very simply solved with the points disparity. But I will answer questions. Mara says, no questions, just anger. I get it. I understand. Sanzo says, what does it mean for free to play? That's a very good question, Sanzo. Bubba, for free to play, this is a tough one now. All right. You remember how we used to say, like, okay, Rev has always been a huge fan of camping, right? I never really have been. What's the difference in our play style? I will spend, so I want to push because my packs get better, as we're seeing right here, right? This is why the milestones are different, because packs get better, correct?
Yes.
So if I am going to spend and I push, then I'm going to get better out of the packs because my packs are getting larger, because I'm buying money, and I'm on a legacy server. It does tweak the advice, I think, now, Bubba Joe. Zandy's actually points out a very interesting observation right now. Okay. Is it possible that the reason players are arguing with the panel because your advice doesn't match their experience because their server is too young? 100%. Bubba, do you think that's accurate? I think Zandy's is right on the money.
Yeah.
Zandy's is Ops 52 from server 12. I bet his experience was similar to mine. Go ahead, Bubba.
So let's go back to the question, because Missing Cubes asked it, and that's, what is the option for free to play moving forward? Right.
It's a tough one
because it certainly feels like they are eliminated from really being able to compete on these leaderboards.
Well,
now, you and I have often said, just give me a second. You
sure.
Take a couple of drinks.
Take a couple of sips. All right, gotcha.
So you and I have often said that free to play we're already at a disadvantage. That you really, really, really had to save for months to be able to complete in a solo leaderboard, right? Solo leaderboards are almost by definition spend events. It almost doesn't matter what it is. I mean, it could be a mining event, and those that spend are going to have an advantage. Could be a grinding event, and those that spend are going to have an advantage. So solo leaderboards are a tough thing to say that a free to play can just, they're going to go win that. They can. It is much, much harder. And so what I would say to this is that in a auction style solo leaderboard, that free to play, their job just got 10 times worse, or at least 5 times worse. Like, they're going to have to save so many more materials and camp and bank up a bunch of things that they can spend it on to even have a chance to winning a solo leaderboard. However, I think that what free to play can do is strategically invest in the SMSs that come out. Maybe not complete these heroic SMSs, but try and get to that first or second milestone where they're getting 10 shards of the epic, that sort of thing. So I think that, yes, I think that this change, and we could get another opinion from Rev or Dekix or someone like that who is kind of a more advanced free to play player. But I think that, in my opinion, I think that this change does make free to play's chance of competing on a solo leaderboard just next to impossible. Not completely impossible, because there's always going to be that player that can plan and budget and be prepared for a solo leaderboard with things to spend and things to spend it on and the ability to do this. But they are going to be at such a disadvantage that I don't think it's necessarily. I think they are going to have to strategically pick, when do I want to get a couple of shards of this? Maybe I can complete this SMS and I don't even care about the leaderboard, but I think the leaderboard is going to be nearly impossible free to play. I don't like that, but I think that we've always known that low leaderboards put free to play and low spend at a disadvantage.
I am somewhat surprised that we're having a conversation about leaderboards, because my position has always been the same. Leaderboards, I will automatically write off as the rule. The exception is where if I find myself in a position or with the materials or the directives to be able to participate, or the time to be able to participate. Leaderboards have always been, by rule, a write-off to me. Okay? If I can, I will. So the milestones are different. Okay? Now, granted, they're heroic, and that's fine. I still I believe that what we've seen over the last couple of months is not necessarily a horribly bad thing when it comes to the availability, right, Bubba? Like, let's go back 6 months.
Yeah, and let's okay, so leaderboards, let's put that one to a side.
Sure.
Because that was the question, and I think the answer to that is leaderboards are really not for free to play. So let's talk about these heroic
solo milestones. And one thing that I want to point out of the chat, okay, is that everybody's talking about can't finish, can't complete, can't do them all. Guys, is not the point. Yes.
Exactly. So we came from an environment, a year ago, the SMS was, 6 million points, 8 million points, whatever it was for your ops bracket.
10
30 million
shards.
points for mine. You got 10 shards.
10. That was all that was available.
I think that should be the thing that the free-to-play are looking to achieve. Get to that threshold that gets you 10 shards. If you do that, then you're right where you're supposed to be. Now, Do we need better sourcing for officers? Absolutely. You're never going to get an argument from me. In fact, I would love to see officers sourced so that they are unlocked in the arc in which they introduced. DJ and I disagree. DJ thinks it should, be a little bit longer, but I've always been the person that's like, give the officers to the players to play with them. I always want the unlock to be easy, and I think the tier up can be where Scopley can try and bank their money. But they've disagreed, and they've always done this. So yes, I do not think that free to play, their expectation should be to complete that heroic SMS. I think their expectation should be what it was a year ago of trying to get 10 shards 3 times and moving on and waiting for that next sourcing to happen, whether it be from an event store or other future sourcing. Maybe there'll be a loop that you can engage in. And I think that has to be the expectation for free to play. And I think that has always been the expectation for free to play.
I'm trying to find
DJ?
the actual event. Here it is, because STFC.space is so completely foobar. It's ridiculous. All right. So here's what I want to look at. All right. And we're going to come back and we're going to look at this in a comparative format. What? What?
I sent a ship to hazard space. It's 3/4 dead. I hate this game so much, DJ. I hate it with a burning passion. I hate hazards so much. Continue now. That's fine. This is going to be a recurring theme.
I think it's cute and funny. It's a little bit funny.
You know what's even worse is that I'm like,
Go ahead, continue, please.
Part of me could be like, I could take the holistic perspective and say, oh, I'm killing my ship. I'll get some repairs. I can't even spend enough repairs to make this thing work in that milestone event. That thing, some people are like, I got this thing on lockdown. That's easy for me. I don't know that I'm going to complete this one. Not that there's anything worth completing for, but anyway, continue with your thoughts on the SMS.
Anyway, okay. All right, now coming to somebody pick an ops level. I don't care what. Somebody just pick one. Somebody give me one. No, I want something lower than 49. Let's go with something relatively free to play. Can I do free to play? Like what? Maybe 30. Can we go 38? Is 38 reasonable?
Sure.
Okay. All right, Bubba Joe, we're going to go back in time. Let's go back in time to the year 2022.
Do we have some time traveling music?
I don't know if I have anything like that.
Okay.
They don't.
Oh, for the love of criminy! Are you kidding me? God, Scopley, fix your business, man. God.
Oh no, there's nothing to fix. They just don't have these records anymore.
Do you still have them, or did you take it?
Yes.
Did you take it down?
It is. I can give you a screenshot of whatever you want from what I have locally here.
That actually makes me sad. Ripper. Oh.
Okay. What do you need?
All right. I want to go back to November of 22 and pull a paired SMS. Oh, sorry, my foot's itching. I just want you to pull me a paired SMS from November of 22.
I'm.
All right. Now, let's go. What did we say?
Trying to find which one.
35? Is that what we're going to do? 35. All right. Bubba Joe? So that means that a year ago, on Ops 35.
Does anyone know which one that
I don't know what event it was. Just do something recruit or even heroic. Actually, it probably wasn't labeled heroic, was it? It was just a paired SMS. So just search for something recruit somewhere in the month of November on a Saturday.
Recruit Wayun SMS heroic.
Oh, crap. We can't use Wayun. Go back to, let's see. That means that October was Ducat. No, October was Ducat. So you got to go back to September, which would have been Battleship La'an.
No,
Strike
there was a break.
Oh, was there a break?
Strike Team La'an. Yeah, there was a month break between them.
Okay, so go back to...
that was Cisco.
Yes, Cisco would have been September.
Okay.
Oh, but that was...
Did he have options?
Recruit Deep Space 9 SMS. There was a cross-server leaderboard.
No, I don't want cross server. I need a paired SMS, so I guess go back to August.
Which was Cisco and Kira.
Okay. Was there a paired SMS on Saturday?
Didn't look like it.
Okay.
Okay, recruit SNW Hammer SMS.
There we go. That'll work. All right, send that over to me. Now,
What level?
35. Now, guys, what we're doing here, what I'm trying to point out was
DM or elsewhere?
yeah, DM's fine. No, please send it to me in a PM. I'm old, remember?
I don't know. It could be pretty spicy. It might need to be a DM.
All right. Oh, this is good. This is so good. All right, guys, I want you to take a look at this. Oh, crap. No, I didn't want to bring my... Hang on. Where's the other screen? Here we go. All right, guys. Hammer versus Picard and Watchman. Okay?
Remember that on STFC space, the
In reverse.
milestones are-
Yeah, they're in reverse order.
yeah.
And I'm going to actually hide the cat. Or the camera. All right, let's take a look at this, guys. If we go back a year, go back one entire year, we had 5, 10, 20 shards for 180,000 points. 20 shards, 180,000 points. Okay?
Do you want to make a screenshot of this and post it in the graphics room for?
Yeah,
people
that's
listening
actually
in
brilliant.
Discord?
You're so smart. You're so smart. Okay? Great. Brilliant. Okay? Now, let me ask this question because Bubba Joe, someone's going to say, well, you're proving our point, DJ. Were they the same price? 20 shards for 180,000 points. Is it the same price for, say, 25 shards now? And it's not going to be because you've got data in there as well. So I don't know exactly how you want to do this. But let's look at the second milestone, for example. Let's look at the second milestone, for example. I know, Zandy, sorry. I really actually haven't shown that much, but Ripper just told me to put this in the graphics room, which I just did. All right. Retrieving says it's double. If you're looking at the epic shards only, sure. We have to account for data in there somehow. All right. But let's look at the 4 milestones. Bubba, do you think it's reasonable? Do you think it's reasonable to assume that 4 milestones have equal lateral separation? Like that the pattern for the separation of milestones would be the same today as what it was a year ago?
Oh, they've messed with that a lot, actually. So I would say no.
Probably not. How far off do you think that separation is? It's a tough one to ask. I guess what I'm saying is here, if we look at the second milestone, if we look at the second milestone at 163,000, and we look at the second milestone a year ago at 27,000, that's roughly a 5 times increase. We agree? 27,000 to 163. I mean, that's big. Multiplied by 5, you're there, right?
Okay.
500% increase. Now, they're not going to be the same because we've had inflations. We've had inflations 20% at a time. And in the last 15, 16 months, gosh, I don't know how many we've had, probably 8 or 9. Okay? Now, certainly doesn't equal 500%. Agreed. I don't disagree in any way, shape, or form. Rewards have gone up. Pack values have gone up. Everything's gone up. Everything's inflation. So I get it. I get it. It's not the same. But what point Bubba Joe was making here 20 minutes ago before I got slow was that you never used to have the stretch goal. You never used to have the ability to get extra shards. It was 10 shards. Or in Hemmer's case, it was 20, and that's after they started going up. Used to be before that, it was only 10. Ripper could probably go back another year and find a paired SMS that only had 10 shards in it. I'm not going to ask him to, but that existed. That was a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now retrieving says you forget that each point is 75% less. Not according to them. Okay. And I hear what you're saying, but not according to them. They're looking at it from the exact pack equivalent. All right. Now, Keeps says, why can't we have an easy milestone with 10 shards and then stretch goals? Guys, I mean, Even I don't agree with that mentality. Like, do it once, do it right. Right? Why create 2 events when one will do? Which is not exactly what I'm known for, but even I agree with that. Bubba Joe, like, I'm fine. When we talked about this here in a couple of months ago, when they had the first 2 milestones, I think it was of Chakotay or maybe Janeway, where the first 2 milestones equaled the previous month's 4 milestones and gave the same number of shards. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. People did lose their minds about that, but why? It was mathematically equivalent. Tarpy's right. We'd complain about that too, because we just rage. We don't look at things mathematically. All right. Keenzer says make one event with an easy 1 or 2 milestones and then harder, like this month's Syndicate. God, that's exactly what you have. That's exactly what you have. Okay? I mean, that's what it is here, Keenzer. You've got 1 or 2 milestones that might be doable, and we've talked about this. We've talked about the strategy of partial completion. Let's look here, for example, here with data. Okay? Bubba, 10 shards of Picard and 14 shards of data are going to be 163,000 points. Okay? Fair. Is it worth the other 500,000 points to get the stretch goal of another 40 epic shards and another 20 data shards? To some people, it might have been. Other people might have said no. Do you remember when, what was it, just a month ago when we had the 10 milestone thing? That was for the new strike team, right? The lower decker strike teams, Bubba Joe?
Yes.
10 milestones. But that last milestone, it was a doozy, wasn't it? It was a doozy. Like, it was double milestone number 9 to get to the number 10 milestone. It was huge. All right? It was a huge stretch. And what did a lot of players do? Heck, even Echo came out. Even Echo came out on the show and said, listen, a very small percentage of people actually completed those events. That was why the 100 shards were taken out of the SMS, because nobody did them. Now, my argument is make them available for people who do want them, right? It's a Kobayashi Maru. That's what you guys have wanted. You guys have always said, give me Kobayashi Maru. Give me as much as I'm willing to spend. Guys, it's not about completing it. It's never been about completing it. It's about doing what you can with what you have in a strategic way to maximize the return based on your investment. And then, hopefully, using the event store to cap off if you need that. It's never been about completing everything. It's never been about solo leaderboards of everything. You can't. You just can't. Greg says, and then they screw it up with the points. Okay, I don't disagree. Stop with the points, guys. I hear you. We don't need to keep revisiting that. You're right. The points are not accurate. Okay? Not for the same reason you guys say they aren't, but they are not. All right, the fact remains, Bubba Joe, they are not accurate. Okay? I will agree with you. I concede to you on that. All right? The bottom line is we've got to be somewhat careful in the feedback we provide and then what is turned around and given. These big milestones, guys, are player-derived. These are what you wanted. Kobayashi Maru. All right? And don't say that it's that you can't complete it. All right? Because very few people are going to ever complete all of them. It's not possible. Okay? Now, I agree with you, Caliber. Nobody wanted the point change, which, again, I've said stop with the points. We're in agreement there. Let's move on. Okay? But the milestones are player-derived. That's what people wanted. Give me the ability to spend extra to get extra. All right? That's the bottom line. These events have always been spend-based. They've always been heroic. Like, since it came out, the whole concept of Kobayashi Maru is spend more, get more. Right?
So I'd like to I'd like to address a comment in the chat, and then we probably should take a break. Do you have commercials?
I have
planned?
no break, but we can change topics. Yeah.
Okay. So it's comment in the chat. Zonan, I believe, says, "Can we at least agree that free to play is dead, and Scopley is all about pay to win?" Well, I hate to break it to you, it's always been about pay to win. Like that, almost everything in the game is pay to win.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that free to play is dead. You can play this game free to play. You can get enjoyment free to play. I know people who play this game free to play.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't. They play the game the way that they want to play it. The game is not dead to free to play. You can play this game free to play. You are engaging in different things in different ways. It is not dead. It's not in a coma, Killer Penguin. It's
you guys
just
are so
playing
dramatic.
the game differently.
You guys are so dramatic.
All this free-to-play topics, maybe someone should speak up who's actually...
Fair enough. Why don't we get a free-to-play's opinion? Karkin.
Karkin, speak up.
So let me get this straight. Last month, the milestone for the SMS was about 25 million-ish for my ops. In and around there, 20-ish. I can't remember exactly what. My amount dropped from 100 to 30, about a 3.3, right? Seems the other side dropped as well. I'm now doing like, what, 7 point something? So what's changed? Nothing. Except if they didn't change the other things, now they've increased the points of those. So they, in essence, have just increased what I'm getting when I spend rare or epic.
Yes!
Is that what is accurate?
Yes!
So what
Holy
else has changed?
Snikes! He got it, guys. Karkin is high as a freaking kite, and he just got it. Maybe that's what everybody needs. Does everybody need a doobie right now? All right. Does everybody need a doobie right now? Okay. Karkin,
yes, everyone needs a doobie.
pass it around, Karkin, because nobody seems to get it. All right. Now, the only difference, Karkin, in fairness, what we talked about earlier, is that depending on what your ops is, the capability of you to spend those rares is vastly different for, say, an ops 41 compared to a 49, right? I mean, you can't be done. And epics can't
But if
really...
the requirements have been dropped to match the equivalent of the uncommons, then you're just getting a bonus on those ones that if you could have spent them, you'd get a bonus.
It wasn't quite that unilateral. You are spending a few more uncommons than you would have, okay, if you can't spend any rare. It's supposed to balance out based on what's in a pack, but it didn't work out that way for most people because they can't spend the rares at all. The uncommons, it would have required a little bit more. Plus, you also got to remember, too, it's not just about the uncommons, right? It's about titanium. It's about steel, latinum, speed ups. Everything becomes more expensive because everything in the game has actually gotten cheaper. So it's not quite as linear as you're making it, but you're on the right path. That is what the design was supposed to be. It just didn't hold true for everybody. All right, but I do appreciate that.
I think some of that could be also where people don't tend to tier up their ships as high. Like I remember we'd always be like, oh, only tier a ship with like tier 4, tier 5, and you can carry on with the next, but till the next bracket of ships and that kind of thing.
That's right. And
so
why is that?
You're not hitting the rares. You're not hitting the rares until tier 5, tier 6, tier 7. You know?
I think it's tier 7 for most of it. Okay, and not only that, but because of the extreme power creep in this game, the power bloat, the hull, the damage, everything, you don't need to take your ships as high anymore. Nobody needs tier 7 on any ship really anymore. Okay.
Yeah, my Valdor's tier 7.
Well, then it's powerful. You don't really need it.
That's how I can still be at like doing my stuff at 48/49 with my Valdor.
On the other hand, there is an advantage to tier 13 on certain things, Bubba Joe. All right.
Oh, totally.
There is an advantage to tier 13. Allow me to share this image that I'll put into the graphics room. Thank you, by the way, Jonathan Ingram, for proving to me that the Borg cube can in fact actually be lethal. Oh, you guys can't. There, I'll put it in the graphics room for you. Because he came and one shotted me with his big old cube. Yeah, he did.
So
one
there's a
shot
little
at
bit
me.
of a side on to the step kind of sideways a little bit. How much then? So looking at the free to play, there access to materials is through events. If the packs are going up by inflation, what sort of events are they being inflated?
All of them.
So
Generally,
well, so
Are they?
hang on.
current events.
So hang on. So ticketed events go up exactly with inflation.
Mhm.
Every time a pack
Right.
changes, the ticketed events change. So
Correct.
that's
Yes.
one portion of it. The general events don't quite go up as regularly. I
No,
think they usually
they don't.
skip an inflation, but they have been steadily increasing. As
Except some
packs,
of those legacy events.
the legacy events don't change as much. That is correct.
No.
And the events, Bubba, do change every time there's an inflation, but they will only change on a monthly cycle. If an inflation occurred today, this arc is already written. So it would happen at the start of the next arc. So it's not that they skip. I understand your perception of that. It's not that they skip. They're just delayed because this arc is already done. So when game design comes out with an inflation, then it takes effect as far as event rewards. It goes into effect the next month.
Yes. Yeah. And so we also have solo, Bajoran. We have those material packs in a lot of those refineries now. So we do have more access to materials than we have ever had before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Treasury gets inflated. That's true. Shorts, Treasury does as well. Yeah. I think you were trying to be funny, but it does. Now, Sanzo brings up a really good point, Bubba Joe, and this would be a great opportunity for us to kind of segue off this into something else. But he says, so tell me, how is a free-to-play supposed to actually earn new content if we're supposed to be sourcing this 10 shards at a time when the event store doesn't give 90 shards? Well, first of all, it's not 90. Okay, the paired SMS for 10, the way it used to be, that was actually part of a meta. Not a meta, but the sourcing path. Usually, Bubba, I don't know, going back in time, you probably would have had 4 or 5 shards come from missions, another couple of shards come from events. You probably had 30 that came from the paired SMSs, and then people would spend 40 to 50 shards worth in the event store to cap it off. I mean, that used to be the pattern. All right.
Well, and it's even worse than that if you go to anything prior to TNG Picard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because TNG Picard changed the whole thing because of his shard count. So
no, TNG Picard. You don't remember TNG Picard was the very first paired SMS.
Oh yeah. You're right. It used to just be auction only.
It used to be auction only.
And that's right, Chi. A lot less officers came
not
every
only
month.
auction only, but like auction only to like 5 places.
Mm-hmm. It used to be just like the jelly auction, guys. 5 or 10 spots deep. That was it. Now, I'm not saying that that's good or anything. I'm just saying a lot less officers came in those months. We have become accustomed to a lot better officer flow. But it comes on the other side of that, Vic. You're exactly right. Back in the day, Bubba Joe, there were far fewer officers to source, right? It was much easier to come back in and source an officer in this path or that path as it is compared to now when there's hundreds. Okay? And I get it, Shields. Yeah, 5 to 10 spots. You say the perspective of older servers. We're kind of trying to draw a comparison. How many times have you guys heard me over the last 30 days talk about this great reset? Okay? Guys, you're in it. It's happening. Things are going back to a simpler time. And we don't like it. We don't. I get it. I can see it. But this is the plan. Okay? Things are getting simpler. Things are going back a little bit more old school because, guys, listen, you can say everything that you want to say. But you can listen to every old timer up here, Sanzo. You can listen to every single old timer up here. And we're all going to tell you, man, those were the good old days. G3, Bubba Joe.
Back in my day, son.
Dude, G3 was the best experience this game has ever offered me. Plain and simple. Anybody want to disagree with that? Because I've got the button ready. Okay? Anybody want to say that G3 was not the best experience of this entire game? Because I've got a button for you.
And you judge me for staying there for a year.
Yeah, I know. I know. All right. Guys, I'm here to tell you. They're not unaware that G3 was great. They're trying to push back to that time. So Now, we're not going to
Well,
like
but
it. There's going to
part
be
of
pain
what-
points along the way. There are going to be.
Part of what made G3 great though was the fact that there was, you had an Enterprise. Like, yeah, okay, but the difference in between an Enterprise and an Intrepid, like a tier 3 Enterprise and a tier 6 or 7 Intrepid,
They could
wasn't
battle.
that big.
They could battle. Yes, they could.
Yes.
There was
We're
balance.
not getting back to that.
No, probably not. Not until they decide to actually do like an actual power reset, which I don't think they can do in this game. But I'm telling you, that was the best balance that ever existed in this game. They're going to do what they can to try to get back to a little bit of a simpler time. All right. Listen, we're not strangers to screaming about power creep. We're not strangers to screaming about, too much this and too much that. Rev's been screaming it for a long time. Guys, we're going to start to see some of that stuff claw back. They're going to slow down. All right. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I've been saying this for a month. If they do it right, it's not bad. All right. And this is why everybody was accusing me so hard of being such a defender of the event or such a shill. This event yesterday was not as bad as this past weekend was not as bad as you guys think. It's on the right track. Is it good? No. They have adjustments to make fully. I acknowledge that. But it is a step in the right direction. With regards to the future of this game. Hammer says now maybe they're going to muck it up worse. That's possible. Surely. I mean, if anything is possible, it's Scopley making mistakes. Okay, that's very possible. All right, but the logic was actually somewhat sound here. They just missed on the implementation, which, by God, that seems to be, we should change our slogan. All right? We should change our slogan. All right, if they do it right. We should create a tally mark. How many times if they did it right versus did it right? It's going to be... Anyway, all right. Sourcing. I'm going to come back to this comment from Sanzo and point out that he's right. Sourcing used to also be more regular. We've got a lot of situations here today, Bubba Joe, where officers will go months and months and months and not come back and be revisited. Look at Strange New Worlds La'an.
No.
Look at Strange New Worlds La'an. I was actually excited that I thought she was actually going to finally have a sourcing plan, and they actually meant Strike Team all along. We still don't have Jedzia Dax.
Hang on.
We still don't have La'an. We still don't have Bashir.
If you want to go back to prior to those SMSs, right, prior to Picard, the sourcing plan of officers pre-TNG and even TNG was awful. It didn't exist.
That's correct.
So if you're saying we're going to go back to that,
well,
that's worse.
I mean, obviously, we can hopefully learn a few things along the way. But my point is, they're going to go back to. Okay, let me put it this way. Now, I am not. I'm approaching this skeptically because I'm still waiting on 7 of 9 and Neelix, and I was told not to worry on that. I was told there was an immediate plan for that. Where is it? Okay. I mean, seriously, Bubba, I expected, I told you guys, I put my reputation on the line and said, don't worry about it, guys. They're assuring me that we're going to see this literally next month. It's been 3 months, 2 months, 3. I mean, seriously, I was told, don't worry about Neelix and 7 of 9. You will see them next month. Still waiting. So forgive me if I'm not super on board with the, hey, don't worry about the sourcing piece. Now, you're right, in fairness, Shorts, that next month is when the game blew up. It literally did. Okay, that next month, the game blew up. So there was a lot that had to be worked on, and this got pushed to the side, I'm sure. But we've had time. Put Neelix and 7 of 9 in the game, and you might start to redeem a little bit of the faith. Because otherwise, you guys just keep telling non-truths. I don't think you're intentionally, maliciously lying. I think you guys are just incapable of circling around. You got too much on your to-do list, and things are falling through the cracks, and you're not coming back. It's a problem. Where's Neelix and 7 of 9? Put them in the flipping game, like was promised. Do the same thing. Do the same thing with these guys. Go ahead, Rip.
It's almost as if they're sometimes maybe a bit overambitious with their plans.
Yeah, maybe. I guess. All right, Bubba Joe. What else blew up this past weekend? That was the big one. We've spent an hour and a half on it, maybe longer. I don't know. How long has it been? Yeah, right at an hour and 28 minutes. Dang on. Sense of time is good today. All right. Yeah, Iron Fister, that was a ripper you heard back there. It was a ripper. Hey, by the way, how did you guys feel about the ticketed event? A little bit underwhelming, maybe a little bit. I don't know. 5 epic shards I felt like was okay, plus the ticketed events. Massively underwhelming. You guys are saying trash. You know what?
So, can I offer an objective opinion?
Yes, please do, Bubba Joe, because I'm all about the objectivity today. I did it.
So,
I did it myself. I mean, why wouldn't I? 5 epic shards. Where else am I going to get 5 epic strike team law on? And incursions, guys. Is that where you get them? Just throwing that out there. Okay, go ahead.
If I compare them to what rare ticketed events were, I'm disappointed. But if I look at this simply as a bonus to having completed the ticket events that I probably was going to do anyway, or if I'm a player that's like, I typically will do 9 ticketed events in a month, and I treat this as getting a bonus to doing those 9 ticketed events, I actually think there's value there. This is actually a good reward. Now, you were like, well, it shouldn't have been rare. You would have not wanted it to be rare tickets. I get what they did.
Yeah,
and
was there no one who was like, "Yay, rare tickets are back. It's only been ...
I get it.
So I get it, right? And in compared to what rare ticketed events would source, it doesn't feel as good. But typically, free-to-play players, spenders will complete at least 9 ticketed events a month. And if you do them all in one weekend, then you have this opportunity to earn bonus materials, and shards. That's not bad, but it doesn't stand up to what rare ticketed events were when they were introduced. So objectively, I think it's a good thing, but I do understand
the paid value of those tickets went down for the people who might have did all of them.
I have a hard time with that one, Karkin, because the value was effectively 0. It's been 2.5 years. Okay? The value of rare tickets was effectively 0. All right.
Don't investments go up? They put money into those.
No. Okay, they don't. That being said, now I did see this a lot. All right, Bubba, I saw this a lot. To me, says Retrieving, it was more worth it to invest all in gas for the, all 9 gas events per month than it was to take the 5 epic shards. I actually saw that from a lot of people. I think that is good. All right, because that presents choice. That presents strategic play. What's more valuable, those officer shards or getting 9 events that do gas? All right, I think that was a brilliant perspective that I'm really, really pleased that I saw in the community a lot, Bubba Joe, was that people were actually looking at A versus B. They were looking at, what am I going to get versus what can I get if I go this path? I thought that was a good thing. All right. I thought that was actually really good. So I really appreciate Retrieving bringing that point up, that you were able to look and say, okay, what's more valuable to me, 9 gas events or 5 on shards?
But that's only because they finally told us what the shards were going to be, like what the reward. If they didn't do that, how do you think this would have played out?
What do you mean? What the officers were?
If they didn't tell everyone what the officers were and gave them that choice at the beginning, like, okay, I am going to go into this, or going in blindly and
in fairness, no, you're right.
And then finding only the shards.
No, you're right, Karkin. That's why I pushed for that announcement on Saturday. I was literally in Los Angeles, and I made that announcement. I even joked with some of the people I was with that I made the announcement a little bit late that day, but it was a really busy day. All right, I had a lot going on, but I wanted to make that announcement. What I have recommended, and I do not know if it is going to happen for this weekend, but I do know that it's something that they might push for in the future, is to set up the timing of that event like a bonus refinery, so you'll be able to see the rewards, Bubba Joe, before you start to engage with that event. So, like, for example, the rare ticket would have a 72-hour countdown on it and start Saturday, for example. Does that make sense? Like a bonus refinery would. And that way people can see what's in there, whether or not they want to invest, okay? I have been told that these officers will stay the same for the rest of this month. So, for those of you who do a lot of ticketed events, there's 15 epic shards The selection, I believe, is a little bit mad this month. That's why I went with Strike Team on, because the other two really don't matter to me at all. But
I'll tell you, DJ, I didn't even look at which officer was offered in the one I wanted.
Strike Team on was in there. Pick Riker was in there. Who was the other one? I don't remember who the other one was. Tendi. But transporter patterns, man. So I was a little disappointed with that. But I mean, now granted, I do have to often remind myself that there's a lot of younger players in this game, Bubba Joe, who are in a position to do transporter patterns. We got to be careful here, guys. Zandy's just pointed out a little bit ago that even this audience right here and now, we're noticing that there is a much younger shift, right? We had Nebs in the chat right now who says, listen, I've been playing this game for like 6 months. All right, transporter patterns, what the hell are you talking about? Right? So let's be really clear. Our audience is very diverse now. Transporter patterns is not a gimme to anybody in the game 6 months, right, Bubba Joe? Tendi is valuable. Tendi is valuable to everybody.
True, but you don't have to wait until you're in your 40s or 50s to start accumulating transporter patterns.
No, you don't.
The lessons that you taught can start probably in mid-20s.
I would probably say after 28. You want to get that Vidar and your Sally out. Or maybe not both, but you get, after that point. After that point.
Purge
says you can start with
credits on those. The Sally, I guess.
The Sally,
but
you
not
would.
the Vidar.
No. Purge says you can start effectively farming transporter patterns within 5-6 months of gameplay. And I don't think that that's wrong, but it is still a choice. There is still a sacrifice there, which some players may not want to make. So, transporter patterns, I get it. That's a very valid point for a lot of us. But for somebody like Nebs in the game 6 months, okay, it's kind of a thing. All right. That being said, the rare ticketed events, from my understanding, will remain in place. Are there plans to cycle the officers through the resources for the Monday events? No. They will stay the way that they were. All right. So if Strike Team La'an was in Steel and you wanted, Trite, but you want La'an, make a choice. All right. There you go. Air says younger players haven't got the tickets to do non-ticketed events. Of course they do. There's 90 free tickets given out every single month. Well, granted, Ops 20 plus. It's Ops 20 plus, but I mean, you get to Ops 20 in a couple days. They give 90.
That would just mean that you have to wait for the third week to do your
exactly.
9
Yeah,
tickets.
you got to wait for the third week, or what a lot of people have actually said. I've seen this in the chat, even right here. Listen, I'm not super excited about any of these this month, so I'm going to save them. And that way, next month, I could potentially get 2 if there's an officer I like. That's fair. That's a good point. Okay? So just throwing that out there. We have not yet been guaranteed that the rare mechanic will return. Bubba Joe, doesn't that sound dangerous? Because we said that like 3 years ago. But
we are also very rarely guaranteed to get a third week auction during an arc, and I can't remember the last time we missed one of those.
That's true. No,
but
Evo.
As Evo says,
are you seriously advocating
to share the red? You're right. You are 100% true.
Are you advocating to save rare tickets? Not really. No, I'm not. I spent mine. Okay, and I will spend mine all month long. But I'm just saying, Scopley has told me that they plan on keeping this mechanic. All right, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, but I'm not claiming one thing. If it were me, I'd spend it. Okay, if it were me, I'd spend it. Don't risk it. All right, that's right. Star Ocean says, yeah, the rare tickets will come back just like Neelix did, and just like rare tickets did 3 years ago. You daggone right. Okay, so yeah, I'd spend them. That's just me though. That's just me. That's funny. Berlin. Oh, in fairness, the officer announced has to be accurate. Yeah, I know. We had Strange New Worlds Lawn was wrong, and Pick Riker and Worf were both wrong. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? But no, that's why I say if they just launch the event with a 72-hour lead time, then everybody can see the event. So there's that. All right, spend them. Oh, KP says I got stuck with 10 rare tickets for 3 years. I mean, a lot of people did. Jonathan Ingram had a bunch, I'm pretty sure. I think a lot of spenders actually had a bunch. Evo, how many did you have? No, you didn't. JB says I had 140 rares. You had 140 rare tickets? Oh my God.
I had 20.
Why? 140? Oh God, JB. You silly goose. I thought it was staying. Some content creator told me. All right, I hate you. Jedzia says, changing subject. Have you noticed that we haven't had any 6-hour events since restart? Yes, actually, they're aware of that. I have no idea why. But yeah, they told me they knew about it.
Oh, yeah, we don't have another 6-hour event.
Yeah, they're all borked. Something happened. Broken. They're broken. No, Devon, he doesn't have 137 left. He'd have 110 if he did them all, because they still cost 10, just like the regular tickets. That wasn't a 6-hour event, K21. That was the 12-hour event. The 6-hour ones are missing. Zandy says the 6-hour events suck. No, they don't. Some of them do. Some of them don't. I like some of them. Voyager systems are fixed, but the Tron discs are not. They just moved them to other systems.
You know what? I always talked about in the game, what I wanted was a Borg cube to come in and annihilate a system unless the whole server came in and ganged up on it and defeated it.
Yeah.
And so evidently they took that and said, well, we'll make it this Tron disc that makes the system unusable, and we're going to move it around instead of actually getting
that's
rid
it.
of it.
By the way, I've had a lot of questions about whether or not your cutting beam is capable of taking out a hostile. I do want to shout out Blue Mandalorian, as always, for being the resident genius mathematician that we've got here, who has made a graphic for you guys to fully understand whether or not your Borg cutting beam will, in fact, be able to take down a target. All right, I'm going to put this in the graphics room for you guys, and I want you to thank Blue Mandalorian for taking the time to invest and continue to teach you guys about what is going on with this Borg cube. That way you know fully 100% as to whether or not your Borg cube will be able to actually defeat a hostile. So
Can you explain the mathematical symbols that are being used in that equation?
Yeah, long story short, if your cutting beam damage is greater than the hostile's hull damage, then yes, it will kill it.
So you want me to count those zeros?
Yes, Hammer, it can take down a hostile. And as proven earlier today, it can also take down a PvE ship. Shout out Jonathan Ingram. All right. Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, he beamed me. He did. Aardvark says the cube has been uninspiring so far. I've actually had fun with it. I'm enjoying it so far.
There's a really good chart somewhere, right?
Well, yeah. Blue and Jules made that one too.
People to that. Yeah, that's the one. Solid chart.
And it
covers
is.
Your best options for points, which you need to hit.
Yep, they did that. They did a great job with that. So that's in our graphics room if you guys need to see it. All right. Questions. Let's see. Except there isn't a PvE hostile tax like there is for PvP. Oh, yes, Sanzo, there is. Oh, yes.
No, there's not.
Yo, yes, there is. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. PvE tax exists as well for punching up. You guys didn't know that? Did I not share that with you? Oh, silly me. Silly me. Why didn't I tell you guys that? Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'll put something in the graphics room for you. Here is a screenshot of a 44 hitting a 46 Klingon trader. I'll throw this in the graphics room. And I will also put the tier of the cube in there so that you guys can see this here. This is a tier 6 cube. So while I'm copying and pasting this in, can somebody tell me what the damage should be on a tier 6 cube for PvE? Here we go. Base PvE damage tier 6 should be 2.4 million. But instead, Bubba Joe was only 1.92 million because he hit 2 levels up, so it got a 20% nerf. Sorry, not a nerf. It was a tax.
Wait. Why did they do that, though?
Because. Oh, wait. Does Blue's graphics say it doesn't affect PvE? Uh-oh, Blue. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there you go. Evo says, During your next trip to LA, can you advocate to sort out the speed ups in G6 and our new? Yeah, you want to stream? I'm actually about done. You want to stream? I know. How dare you move upwards, guys? Then nobody hitting up. What's wrong with you?
Hey, Dad, since I got straight A's, can I still get all the kitty bitties?
He wants all the kitty bitties.
I will second what Evo said.
You know, it's really funny. Last night, Evo, I was on Twitch last night, and I actually built my Sanctus last night, but I had to convert Latinum for faction credits, and it was actually really, really funny. As I was going through, a number popped out at me, Bubba Joe, and I realized that what I had to spend for 10 Sanctus BPs in Latinum, right? Because I had to convert into faction credits, so 3,000 faction credits per blueprint, and then 50 Latinum per faction credit. So anyway, the math came out to 1.5 million lat for 10 Sanctus BPs, and I might have
Yes, it does.
I might have actually kind of had to joke about the fact that I just got 10 Sanctus BPs in the same amount of currency that it would take you to speed up a building by 1 day. Evo says it's not funny.
It is very funny.
I thought it was.
And you know, if at 62 your buildings took like 1 day, that's not so bad.
But they don't. They take like 15 or 20 days in it.
Let's see. My next building at 62 is 6.5 days.
Oh, that's not bad. Quit whining. You hear that? Oliver says, quit whining. Stop whining, Bubba. Put your headphones on. Tell him. He needs to hear it. He says there's nothing to be scared of, Bubba Joe. Just do it. Oh, hang on. There you go.
There's nothing to be scared
What?
of.
What are you doing here?
There's nothing to be scared of.
Just do it, Bubba Joe. It's fine. It's only 6.5 days. How much Latinum is
How many
that?
packs is that?
It's like 2 packs worth of lat, isn't it? 3 packs worth of lat?
That is actually
You can do, you get in Latinum.
Look at the skin on
Stop.
Roblox.
Don't interrupt. I'll turn you off.
No.
K9 says it's too soon. All right, Bubba Joe, how much was that? So 6 days. So let's do 7 days. So that's 10.5 million lat.
Yes. So that would be 2.5 packs
Yeah, 3 packs.
of Latinum.
Or you could just wait 6.5 days.
The vault of Bubba Joe. Wait. That's silly. Bubba Joe doesn't wait on things. That's why he's a whale.
That's seriously
I
why he's a
absolutely wait
whale.
on things. In fact, you know what's funny is that for the longest time, most whales I know did not invest in the various extra builders because what's the point?
Oh, yeah. Wait. Are you saying, Evo, that the $5 second builder now has value to you? Oh, my God. Evo says, I bought all of the extra builders today. Scopley's
You
like,
better believe it.
Scopley's like, got him! Got him! Got him. All right, guys. That's really, really funny. Oh my goodness, that's great. All right, does anybody have any questions? I'll spend like maybe 2-3 more minutes, but seriously, my throat hurts. Oliver wants to stream a little bit. Do you guys want to? Do you guys want to stay and play a game or something with him? Because I'm gonna. Oh God, what a terrible game, dude! Why? That game is so bad.
You know you're gonna beat me.
I lost last time. Bubba, do we have?
No.
Is there anything else? And guys, I do apologize for ending the show early. Just my throat has killed me. Questions very quickly. I'll check both chats. Forgotten Shield says the milestones on newer servers, will that get worked on? Not likely. No. Stop touching your microphone. No, not this month. All right. New officers.
Is there anything to be discussed about the heroes and villains mission or event?
I mean, you already chose, so it's a little late for that. But you had to choose one. I will tell you, unfortunately, I chose the wrong team, Karkin, because obviously I chose the villain team, and clearly my server was feeling very, very
heroic,
and happy. So I'm gonna lose. But it is interesting. Whenever this milestone gets whenever we reach this milestone, there is a hidden trigger in this milestone. This is so beautiful. There is a hidden trigger inside this milestone, Bubba Joe, that will give the opposing team a score of minus 999 million. So, like, it is a race. Whoever gets there first, the other team ain't winning. The other team gets blown out of the water. It's like a Duke Nukem. Okay. Yes.
How many servers do you think will reach neither?
I don't know. We're not looking so hot on ours. We're only
Hear that, villains? Get your butt in gear.
Yeah, let's go, villains. Let's nuke the heroes, okay?
Yeah.
Let's nuke the heroes.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's going to whenever somebody hits it, it's going to nuke the other team. So so the people who chose wrong will not get rewards, but it's not. I think that event is a little bit more fun than it was for the rewards. The rewards are a little bit silly in that, but I think it's kind of fun. So there's that. Somebody else I saw a question. Crap, where was it? Shoot, I saw. Where was it, Bubba Joe? Oh, G6 materials in multiphasics. I am told, Bubba Joe, that was already fixed. Can you confirm?
Yes, it is. It has been fixed.
Yeah. So multiphasics now contain G6 materials for Ops 61 plus. Oh, just uncommons.
It doesn't have any rares.
It doesn't. It's not going to have rares until you hit the appropriate Ops level. It's the same thing as it was for G5 and G4.
The appropriate Ops level has not been reached by anyone. Then
that's correct. Yeah, I think it's 60. It might be 64. I think.
Nope.
Jonathan says 63. Wait.
No. Jonathan says that rare is in packs at 63, but it is not in the multiphasics.
Oh, okay. That's actually really easy. I can go back and ask on that. That may be something simple. All right, because I know that they did release them for 61, so that's good. That's easy. I can follow up on that. Dragon Keeper says it shows up at 65. How would you know that? There's no 65 in the game.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not. I mean, just me. But they don't know that yet.
Now they
Your
know.
feet are stinky, man.
This is since you told them and you tried to keep it secret, this is your punishment.
This is my punishment. All right. Black Sheep says no G6 at all in the Syndicate multiphasic pack. Well, that's because Syndicate.
Yeah, they didn't. That's the one that did not get changed.
Yeah, because Syndicate is meant to be the priority there, I believe. Oh, good question. Zakara says, are they going to adjust the brackets for 50 plus in the solo leaderboard? Not this month, but they will be. They will be for next month. So yeah, in this month, enjoy it. Ops 51 plus.
Okay, that's.
You're competing.
I
with
would just go
all
with
of G6.
eventually they will.
Well, they said they're going to do it next month, but yeah, eventually. But yeah, no. Yes,
Hey,
I'm
Dad?
competing. I'm competing with Ops 63.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah, pal.
Can we do like a new game like Roblox or something?
No, absolutely not. We're not playing Roblox. Nope.
I could play and you guys can watch
The
me.
Prophet says, did they add G6 to Ops 61 and not adjust the others? Yeah, that's correct. The others were not.
Correct. Not the.
Daddy, can you
We've
stop
checked.
moving
None of the
your
others
chair?
seem to have moved.
Yeah, it was just they scaled them up for G6 to add those materials. Do you want to
I
play
find
a
the
game?
faction daily change in G6 interesting.
Dude, faction dailies got changed all the way down. I wonder if I've done mine yet. No, I don't think I have. I just entered them. Guys,
Yours have changed?
Yes. Not the daily events, but the payouts, the faction credits went up. All
That's
right.
Not.
Yes.
That's not what he's talking about. So,
Oh.
DJ, your faction events, are they based on ops level or are they based on faction level
Mine's based on rep.
in your daily goals?
Yeah, they're based on rep.
Okay. They're not for G6.
Oh, they're based on ops?
Yes.
I mean, is that a bad thing?
I don't know yet.
I mean,
I don't think that's a bad thing.
it means the payout is the same for every rep level.
Yeah, everybody says that's a good thing. So why are we fussing?
So what's going to happen is that you're going to go up in levels, right? And you're eventually going to maximize your ops level. And then you're going to switch to another rep, right? You say you've maxed one of your reps. You're going to switch to the other, and it's not going to start off at level 50 hostiles. It's going to be all the way up at your ops. It's probably a good thing, but I need to see how that looks when I actually, say at 66 or whatever, I've maxed my first rep.
seems like it would make maxing the second and third reps significantly faster. As in, it might be more advantageous to single grind a reputation when you start G6 because it'll be much, much faster to grind out the other two afterwards.
Who's grinding rep?
And it seems like you can't accidentally
also
grind
true.
too much rep and put yourself in a bad position.
That's true.
That
You
is
can't-
correct.
Yeah, you can't. What is that? Stop with the cat.
Oh no, these days you're just buying rep. You're not grinding it anymore.
Oh, okay. I still grind it.
Well, and even if these packs disappear because they have a timer, you're not going to grind the G6 rep. The rep is embarrassingly low.
The dailies give a lot of rep, he says. So
It was a joke.
The dailies do give rep, but the hostiles give nothing.
Curly Fries says my
Well, not
faction
nothing.
credits didn't change. Maybe it was G5 then, because mine are like triple. Mine are like triple. So it was pretty good.
Wait,
So
did your faction level change?
no, my faction didn't change, but no, the credits did, and they told me they did. They told me they changed that for some, so it probably just scaled harder in late G4, early G5. They changed all the credit payouts. Oh, post 1 billion. Okay, well that's good. So that is basically the start of G4, right? Because wasn't 10 million? Yeah. So basically for G4 and G5, increased faction credit payouts. I think that's a good thing. Ooh. Kelsman says at Ops 50, my credits went up by almost double. Mine too. It was a good change. It's a good change. Yeah, credit where credit is due. That's a good change. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it. Whew. All right. Is there anything else real quick?
Yeah, I don't think I'm completing this SMS, DJ.
Which SMS are you talking about?
The speed up one.
I haven't started. Oh, you have one for speed ups?
So I happen to be
Just
yesterday.
Just build another worthless G4 Epic. It'd be fine.
Well, no. So no, DJ. So yesterday I had Op 62 cooking, and so I said, okay, I'll burn down my lat. I'll complete this SMS by using the new Sigma speed ups using lat.
Where is it? What event is it?
It's in at Astra.
All right, I'm going to look.
Okay.
Oh yeah, faster than light. Didn't we already have this once or no?
Yes, we had it yesterday.
Well, no. The
No.
leaderboard
Oh, sorry.
started
We had a
yesterday.
leaderboard yesterday,
Oh.
not the SMS.
It's still the same leaderboard as today. It was a 2-day leaderboard. So today's the last day of the leaderboard, and now an SMS today.
What's your milestone up there at G6?
Mine is 1.5 million.
1.5 million. 1.5 million minutes is what you'd have to spend in regular speed ups.
Mhm.
1.5 million.
So-
That's amazing.
Well,
Oh no! Look!
You're
No!
supposed to spend
No!
Sigma.
You're supposed to do it with repairs. Go burn trite, Bubba. Go burn trite.
I'd love to. You know how many times I would have to blow up my ship?
This is a great event. I love it.
So it's only 25,166 hours.
wait, what?
So it's only 1,050 days of regular speed ups that I'd have to spend.
Oh, quit whining.
Wait. No. Wait, are you sure?
Yes.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's for building speed ups that I could actually potentially try.
No. Do it with the trite. Hold on. Yeah, you get 25 points
No,
per
but
minute.
it would be 25 hours in repair speed ups though.
Wait, Bubba, are you serious right now? Hold on, I gotta hit a button for you, Bubba Joe. All right, I'm hitting the button.
No.
Yeah.
Am
All right.
I wrong?
Just sit
1510000. Okay. Divide by how much is it for the repair? It's
1200.
No. You're looking at Sigma. It's 25 points
yeah.
per minute. 60,400 minutes in repair divided
Wait,
by 60. That's only 1,006 hours, Bubba Joe, which is, and what's it, about 3 hours per repair. So you only have to blow up your ship
Right.
340 times.
Yeah, but Bubba is G6. He's supposed to use Sigma.
Yeah, use Sigma.
On what?
Oh, that's right. He can't use Sigma on repair. They can only use Sigma on building.
So I should build a building that requires materials that I so desperately am going to need at the next SMS.
What about your what about your
build
generators?
ship,
do you need to bank up? Like maybe you need to build up like generator H or something like that. Yeah.
My generators. So again, if I try to do this with regular speed ups, it's thousands of days.
Just send your ship back to hazard space.
So why can you not build a cell key and just use repair speed up there?
Evo, I love you, man. I'm sorry. Obviously it's an issue. Like obviously. But now, guys, can I just be straight up? Like, is this event actually worth anything? Is this event worth
Well, no, that's
anything?
So the only reason you would want to complete this event is potentially for the meta.
Oh, you need it for the meta? What's in the meta?
Yes.
All Borg cube parts.
The meta has upgrade parts for the cube and 5 epic officer shards.
Yeah.
Whether that's worth it to you or not is an entirely different discussion. The rewards for this particular event are designed by DJ.
No, it is. It's a trash can event. For the record,
it's a trash can event.
For the record, I did not provide my consent for them to convert my pack into events. All right. I did not. Like, I don't even use half of the currencies in here. Okay. Ablative amplifiers. Is that for the Defiant? I don't use that anymore. Tetrons, I've never used.
So
Orb splinters.
Here's my level, DJ. If I got enough radioactive titanite from this event to do even one initiation of my Titan, I would have said okay, but I don't.
Yeah, I get it. I'm with you. Whatever happened to my pack?
They couldn't do that. They couldn't give you enough to do one.
Benny Hill says, "Whatever happened to your pack, DJ? Honest to God, you really want to know the truth? I haven't come to an agreement with them yet. They keep coming back and watering down my pack, and I say no. I want a good pack. I want a really good pack, and they just every time I send them over an idea, it's almost like Bubba Joe. I'm asking too much. But I mean, yeah, that's my job, isn't it? Is to buy a pack that it's going to be just irresistible value for you guys to buy. I don't want just another normal.
There you go, DJ. Make it a pack with G6 speed ups.
They've already screwed up my idea about putting a pack out with Ultritanium. All right, like I can't even sell that anymore because it needs to be Sigmatrite now. I missed the boat on that one. How mad would you guys have been though? How mad would you guys have been if I sold a pack that was $100 for Ultritanium and then Sigma came out? I was doing you a favor. I didn't want to be mean to you guys that way. I mean, right? That would have been kind of shade, right?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
There are a few whales that did have the ability to spend titanium, but I would say a majority of people in G5
who was looking out
could still spend titanium.
Who was looking out for you guys? It was me. It's this guy. All right. Let's end. Bubba Joe, do we have anything else? Is there any other questions?
Is there anything coming up? Any events that we need to talk about? Is there anything on the calendar that's going to be different or interesting?
Serenity says they canceled an Armada event. Will there be one? They didn't actually cancel it. They just put it in the in-game news when it didn't belong. The Armada Start event was only for players who have Max Syndicate. So, no, if there's not an event, an Armada event in the calendar, I don't expect one unless they throw one in as a surprise, which is possible, but there's not one planned.
There's a good question that we have not talked about. Can we spend 5 minutes talking about what Air asked?
Are the officers worth the investment? Yeah, Jules, do you want to come up and do that thing? Jules did a thing on Picard. Let me see if I can find it. Jules, if you want to come up and talk about Picard real quick. Because I can't. I don't know anything about it yet. I'll put this in the graphics room, Bubba Joe, but I don't know what it means. I need Jules to teach what it means. I'll put this in the graphics room if you guys want to try
Jules
to figure out.
says he wants to do it on Twitch.
So you want to do it tomorrow night? We'll do it tomorrow night then.
What I'll say is Picard might be worth it, but Data actually looks really good.
Yeah, I like Data. I like Data for sure. Data's the real deal. as he should be. He's the most popular character in the whole series. So yeah, that's why I've got a Data Pez dispenser. K21 says they all seem bad. So what's so good about them? I don't know. Data's legit. Benny Hill says, do we need to max data? No, I'm not going to say that because that means you're going to spend money. So I'm not going to tell you to spend money. But no, data's pretty legit. But I tell you what, we'll do it tomorrow night. Okay? We'll do it tomorrow night. That way you'll have plenty of time to decide before this weekend's upcoming auction. How's that? Is that fair? So tomorrow night we'll do it because I got to stop. Bubba Joe, anything else?
Nope, I think that's good.
Anybody else have any questions? Last second before I biz outs, because I'm hurting. And Oliver wants to stream something. We're gonna hang out for a couple of minutes. We'll let Oliver play something. What do you want to play? Huh?
You've already shot down the first 2 games you mentioned.
I didn't hear what you said. Roblox. Ew. It's terrible. Why does he play the worst? It's the worst games. It's terrible. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, everybody. Thank you guys so very much for being here. I'm not going to even read. I'm not going to read anything that I would normally read here at the end. I'm just going to say thank you guys so very much. I appreciate it. We do have challenges going on over on the Twitch channel. We'll talk a little bit more about those tomorrow night. Ripper and I now owe you a Christmas song. Ripper and I we have to do the 12 bugs of Scopley. So we're gonna sing that to you guys.
Oh, so that's what that was.
Yeah. We're gonna write you a holiday song called "The 12 Bugs of Scopley" because you guys hit a goal. We still have plenty of other goals that are out there. There's even more amazing stuff that can come. If
only 12 bugs.
Yeah, we got to pick the best 12. All right, we got to pick the best 12. Tron rings are gonna be in there. Voyager systems, 12 rings, 5 Voyager rings. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much. My name is UltimatDJz. This has been a presentation of Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast, recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. I am your friendly neighborhood cat person saying meow for now. Love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bark.
Are you barking?
Bark.
Why are you barking?
Because I'm a husky, and huskies are a type of dog. Bark, bark, bark.
That's
bark,
weird.
He's got you there.
Bark,
I guess so.
Bark, 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 bark.
Stop barking. All right, do you guys want some here, okay, stop. I'm gonna give them a little bit of information. All right, let's go. Somebody asked about the event calendar. I'm gonna give you one little hint.
I want to play Roblox.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm gonna give you one little hint. One little hint. Okay? You ready for this, Bubba Joe?
Yes.
Ops 52 Plus. Ops 52 Plus is going to see a brand new style of event coming in the coming days. That will be a heroic investment account, a heroic investment type event, Bubba Joe, that will source primes as prizes.
Really?
Yeah. 52 plus.
Will it source the prime we want?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, probably. Oh, wait. I think I'm reading my notes wrong. Hold on. Wait. Oh. All right. I like my first idea better, man. The first idea sounded cooler. All right. No, it's sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, people got really excited. Don't be sad.
Let me play Roblox.
Hold on. All right. No. So there's going to be it's a prime adoption event, Bubba Joe. You know how they've done those before. Buy the primes and get the rewards or whatever. So there you go. Okay. All right. Well, never mind. Go with the first idea.
For the primes that they're already selling packs for?
Are they?
Die bet.
No. These are new primes. So many primes. Yay!
How many primes did they release this month?
Only
I only
14.
recall 3.
No, so far, there's going to be a total of 21. It was one for each day of the arc. All right.
Shut up.
All right, I'm going to go now. Bye, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute because he's wanting to play some
Bark, bark, bark,
stupid game.
bark, bark.